Alright, this is part 2 of the starter removal. I had to remove this undercarriage stuff right here and right there. And it was fastened to this with some screws and what have you. Little 10mm bolts. They all look like this one right here. Can you see that? Okay, yeah. Okay, now, yeah. This they test right here, right there, and right here. All that. So, this one was not attached. It's supposed to be up here like that. But there's no screws in there, so yeah. It was out just hanging out the way, so. Now, the start itself, I don't know if you can see it. It's loose. I'm forgetting. This was the bolt I was telling you. There's a bolt right here, and there's a bolt above that. Those are the bolts I was telling you about. Now, what I have to do is, see, the starter itself is loose, as you can see. You can see the starter. See that? That's the starter right there. It's loose. I've gotten the two bolts out. So now, you just have to take the stuff out the way to get the starter itself out. Now, one of the good things about removing the battery is we don't have to worry about that positive wire that goes to the starter touching on something and sparking, arcing, causing problems, and what have you. So we're gonna try to first see here. Let's squeeze that. Sometimes when you squeeze those hold downs, they just break because they're brittle. And sometimes they don't flex like they should. But let's hope this one does. Okay. Okay, yeah, I was looking for that. I dropped that earlier. Cap to the positive terminal. Alright, now, see that right there? They got two parts on the side. That's so you can squeeze those together and pull them out. Ta-da! See that? Those are squeeze. That's a squeeze hold down. It holds this down. And these two little parts, when they squeeze together and go back in there. Boop. And they open up when you put it all the way in there. But anyway, now that's out the way. Now we got more room to maneuver. You might have to move that one too. I don't know if you can see my finger right here. Let's see if we can get that one squeezed and out the way. Alright, now I think we're gonna have to move this bracket right here. So you got 3 bolts. 1 and 2. The third one back down there. I'll get to it later. But I think we might have to remove it to get the starter out. Remember, this is the starter right here. This little bitty boy right here. Yeah, he's moving. Let's see if we can maneuver him out without taking anything else off. If that's possible, then so first I'm pushing him back out of the top of the front of the transmission. That little bump right there. Alright, and then maneuvering. It's kind of hot. Maneuvering. Alright, maneuvering. It's kind of hot. I should have put gloves on. Alright. There's Mr. Starter without removing anything else. Okay. So now we got to take this positive wire, is what I was talking about, and this is just a clip. You this clip right here. You press this on the end and pull it out. Ta-da! It wiggles right out of there. Okay. That's usually a 13, 12 or 13. Let's get that off right quick. Let's see. 10, 12, 13. Okay. Let's see which one it is. Try the smallest first, just in case my nails pulling off. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Yep, it's a 12. All right. All right. Put a socket on that. Bring a ratchet on that. Okay. This starter is kind of hot, and I'm tired. I gotta hold it. So get a glove. Get a glove right quick. Glove. A little dirty glove on. Protect my little hand. So it's kind of hot. Feeling hot. No. Alright, so turning that 12mm. would be doing this with my impact gun, but the battery was low, so I figured I'd charge it and do it by hand. He's off. Okay. Alright, starter is removed. Well, it's not supposed to do that on its own. That's the telltale sign that the starter is bad. I'm gonna test this starter. I'll show you all the easy way to test a starter. You get jumper cables if you have some, and you ground the starter like that there. Okay, then you put the positive on that right there. Okay, now these have to be going to battery, positive, negative. Okay, let me put this on the battery so we'll have some power back here. Prop the hood right quick and hook these up to the battery so we have some power to conduct this test. Yes, my cables reach from the front to the back. Sometimes I have to jump cars that are behind me on the expressway, so that's why I get cables that reach from the front of my car to the back, to the front of my car to the front of somebody else's. Yeah. All right, we have power. Now, it will be easier to do this test if the this was just like a bolt, but since it's not, what we're gonna do is touch that and touch these together. All right? Okay. So we're making that come out so I can have something to touch this positive to that to give it power. All right? What we're trying to do to see if this right here, see, it's not supposed to be out like that already. It's supposed to jump out and turn. That's probably what has been starting so far. It'll see how it's already out. It's supposed to be in, then it's supposed to jump out and turn, and then jump back in when it's not turning. So that's the problem with this starter right there, that the Bendix, I'm almost sure the starter solenoid has something to do with that, because this is a Bendix. This is what actually comes in contact with the flat wheel that turns your engine. So the starter is somewhat good, but it's about to go all the way out. I guess this is just a sign of it going out, just this part right there. So it does work because it was starting the car. Every time you hit it, it was already out there. But being out there like that, it'll keep turning with the flywheel. It'll tear it up inside. So yeah, it's not supposed to turn with the flywheel. It's supposed to turn just enough to get the flywheel, which is the engine, to basically after the engine, turn it fast enough so the engine can start. Once it started, it jumps back in out the way, and at the spot where, because at this point it will be in contact with the flywheel, so it has to, after it's turned the flywheel, it has to jump back out the way so the flywheel can go higher RPMs than the starter's supposed to go. So by being out there like that, it'll tear up the starter because it's not supposed to go with that high RPMs. So starter is bad. All right, now I'll put that up later. And what we're gonna do is always match your starter up before you just go trying to put it on, and then find out later, oh man, this or that or the other is not on there. Always trying to match your starter up first and foremost, and make sure that everything's on the old starter is on the new starter, because it could be a slight difference, and that will be a big difference. All right. The plug is the same. The bolt is on the same side. The nut is on the same side. Alright, they're about the same length, close to. He's a little longer, but let me see. It really doesn't matter, because as long as, if I match that up, that those are the same height. These bows or whatever, the little cone, as long as they're the same length. Now, if they were different lengths, then this would be a wrong starter, because the starter's longer. The starter's only longer at the body because it's made by a different company, Remy. Yeah, so, and this one's made by the factory, Vito or Velcro, or what is that? Well, y'all can see it. Anyway, so this is probably a factory starter, and this is the replacement starter. And the replacement starter, the back part doesn't matter that much as far as how far it has to hang out, because that part has open air to hang out, so it can hang out a little farther. It's this part that matters, the front part where the hood is, or the bowl, or the cone. So, and it matches up. So basically, yeah, because you could do it like this. You can. Okay, you can bring it to me, please. So you could do it like that and see that it matches up. So I'm doing it like that. See that basically, look, if you all put them on the ground and basically like that, you see the line. See here, that line matches up with that line. See that? So it might be a little taller up here, but that doesn't really matter. So now, and you see the difference between the two. You see the new one, how it's in place, and I can't even pull it out. See this one, the new one you tilt it, nothing happens. The old one you tilt it, that falls out. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to do just like this. It's something holding it in there. And it's supposed to be holding it in there until it's time to start it and make it jump out. So that's the reason why this one is bad, because the Bendix, I think it's called, the Bendix jumps out, or is out too far, too long, whatever, and it doesn't retract. So that retraction can hurt you. Yeah, so it'll have you stranded. So that's why that starter is bad. So it's been tested, so we know. It's always good to check your starter, because if you diagnose your own problem and it's not the problem, then you have a problem. Alright, thank you. Now I can put some power to it. Alright. Let's see here. Now it's time to put the impact gun back to work, Mr. Snap-on, front and center. Alright. Okay, now let's get him back up there in place. First and foremost, we are going to put him back on you. Oh, let's take that off first. It's probably not a 12. It's probably a 13. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe it is a 12. Did I lay on my 12? Oh, there it is. 12 millimeter. And yes. Alright, it's a 12. No play. Alright. Good money. Usually the replacement bolt and factory bolt is different sizes. Sometimes they don't go up but one size or more. If it's a 12, it'd be a 13, something like that. Alright, now let's get him back in place like that there. You see these two things right here. These two things hold the wire that connects it in that position. So if you didn't know, you put that on there, see how it holds it in that position? So it's in the right position once you get to tightening that down. Put the nut on there.